minutes of June 10th of 2026. Are there any edits, corrections, omissions, whatever that need to be put forth? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, Bob has a motion, a second.
Second.
Norris on the second. Ayes,
Aye.
nays, abstentions. We're good. Okay, we move forward here. On old business, we had, because of the comments concerning today, we also have that toward the end. So we will tag that all together at that time. Bradford, even RCR applicant sample report review and approval. Good to see you fellas again today from a month ago. I hope the 4th of July holiday was good. What I need is, you know the drill. I need your name, spelling of your last name, and address of employment for the record.
Bradford Even, Bradford, and that's Even. Address 745 Marrow Road, apartment 113, Coventry, Connecticut.
Okay, thank you. And your
Yes.
sponsor.
Scott Gallagher, ScottGallagher. That's 5 Sterling Circle in Vernon, Connecticut.
Very good.
06066.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. So as you know, we are.
He has one more sponsor, just so you know. There's 2 of us.
Okay, please.
It's Christopher, CHRISTOPHER, Gallagher, GALLAGHER, 3 Glastonbury Place, Glastonbury, Connecticut, 06033.
Thank you very much, and my apologies, Mr. Gallagher.
All good?
Okay, we are here to review your sample reports that you presented here. This will go no more than 20 minutes, just to give you a lay of the law here. I do not vote as chairman unless there is a draw, in the soccer world, a draw, right, or a tie. That's when I, partake, but therefore I can still ask questions. I just want to make sure that you folks know exactly, what's before us and so forth. So I know I had 3 quick questions, 3 reports, or excuse me, some questions, but I'm going to open it up to other members of the commission first. Does anyone would like to start with some questions for Mr. Even?
Well, I have some, of course.
The floor is yours.
Okay. And I always start out by saying whatever I'm going to say or suggest or comment on is meant to be in a constructive vein. I'm not trying to tear apart anything, and hopefully, educate you further in some way and help out with your career going forward. So I think in general, your reports were pretty good. I think they're all USPAP compliant. I think the value estimates are well supported. However, there are a few issues I think that are worth discussing. Again, just for educational purposes or pointing things out. I think your adjustments made to the comps, while they might be just fine, they're only mentioned. In other words, comp 1 was adjusted for a bathroom, or comp 1 was adjusted for condition, but you're not telling us why. Why is the condition different? And you're also not supporting the amount of the adjustment, telling us where that came from. And that's a possible USPAP concern, but it's also certainly we're not concerned with it here, but it's a Fannie Mae concern for sure. They're cracking down on that. And well, I think your comments in your text sections, you're filling up the text sections, but I think the comments are pretty canned and standard. And in fact, they're basically the same in every one of the reports that you gave us. They're not subject specific enough. They're not neighborhood specific enough. They're not market specific enough. They're just very generic. Um, and I think most of all, the issue is how you're not signing the reports. And the way that you're listed in the additional comments section over the cost approach page, as someone who, contributed this, and that to the report. So there's an issue of why you're not signing the reports. There's the question of whether you've even written these reports. I don't know, maybe you can clarify that. But the use PAP language is pretty clear in standard 2-2. It requires the appraisal report to summarize the extent of any significant real property assistance. Now, you do include that in each report, as I said, in a comment section. But advisory opinion 31, which provides USPAP guidance, says any appraiser who provides significant appraisal or appraisal review assistance in the assignment must sign a certification or be identified in a certification. So you don't necessarily have to sign it, but your name has to be in a certification. And it goes on to indicate that the description of the assistance completed by the individual named in a certification does not have to appear in the certification, but it has to be in the report. Now, again, that you're doing, but I think from now on, you need to be put in a certification by name, just to be USPAP compliant. So I also have a lot of, additional comments about each report where there are some errors or inconsistencies, and I'd be happy to give that to you at some other time in some other way if you're interested.
Definitely.
Again, just for educational purposes. And I have one last question. I had requested to see a sample of the report at 3 Jackson Avenue in Stonington.
Yes.
So that's not in what you submitted. You submitted 2 reports of your choice instead of one as we asked for. Just wondered if you could explain that also.
Definitely. Yeah. So promptly after, the meeting adjourned, I went to gather all my work files to submit to Debbie to get onto you guys, and realized an error in the log. When looking at the log, I had written these addresses in an effort to help assist, aiding my schedule that week and preparing, with other work and my appraisal work. So I had included the hours that I did in preliminary research. However, I was unable to make it to the inspection and therefore did not complete a report for 3 Jackson and 2 other addresses that day. After I realized this, I went over the entire log to ensure no other error was like that. And there was none other than that one day. But I was unable to make it. So I did not create a full report. I just did preliminary research on the addresses that day.
Okay.
Is that it, Bob?
Yes.
Okay. And that was just for other members of the commission, on the Monday, the 6/29, our email 12/28, that with his work products, highlighted in yellow, there is an explanation also kind of in writing of what was just spoken. So that's way down
Right.
on the scrolling if you want to take a look there, folks.
Right,
Okay.
right. I did see
Um,
that, yeah.
all right, Maria, any questions that you would like to ask? You're on mute, Maria. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Hawkins, Norris?
I'm good.
Okay. Jen?
I'm all set.
Okay. I got a couple quick questions here for you. Okay. I looked at the report, looked at all your reports, but at 1202 Twin Circle Drive in South Windsor, unit 1202.
Yep.
And I just had two quick things here on that report. That was a condominium, an appraisal report. And I just wanted to say this, it seems like over the years, when you add a comparable 4, 5, 6, or whatever the case may be, it's kind of sometimes not even listed or what have you. I applaud you, at least it jumped out right underneath the adjustments. Hey, also go see Comp 4, of which then I got to go scroll and find it, but at least it was a roadmap. So I do appreciate that. It wasn't buried. I didn't have to, play I Spy or anything like that. So I thank you for that. But here we are with a condominium. And I'm not saying for this assignment, but when you do a condo, what concerns, issues are you aware of, or the red flag goes up when you start a condo report? Or are there any things that you've been trained to, hey, this could trip you up, or always look for this, or what have you, whatever. The floor is yours.
That is definitely a good question. I think the HOA assessment is definitely something to keep in mind of. Most condominiums will have an HOA assessment. So therefore, I mean, you can see my comp 3 is 39 Candlewood Drive. That is technically a different project. However, they share the same entryway. So they're pretty much adjoining in very similar condition. Slightly older, but you'll see that their HOA assessment is slightly lower. So that's definitely something to keep in mind of, as there's different amenities that may be included, with those different HOA assessments.
Okay. Do you find, in your experience, as limited as it is, but you may have come across, do you find disparities between the HOA fees, and what do you do if there is such a part of your appraisal process to get comfortable or satisfied in your mind?
Yeah, well, ideally, you want to make sure when appraising a condominium, to stay within the project, within the area. However, if it comes that you have to, there are no sales within the past year in the same project, then you need to venture out. The HOAs definitely may differ. And therefore the amenities may change. As you can see in this report, they all have a pool as a recreation facility. And I assume that, most, not every condominium will have the same amenities. So therefore, along with the grounds, this, monthly amount is contributing towards landscaping, roads, and that pool. So if you happen to use a comp that may not have the same amenities, you may notice a change in that HOA assessment, and therefore an adjustment may be necessary.
Thank you. Very good. I'm going to change up here on 49 Fremont Street over in Putnam.
Yep.
It's a general question, but what was the hardest part of this appraisal report, and how did you address it?
I'd say it's there's not a lot of sales in the area in Putnam, and it's in a more a busier part of town. It's not in so much of a country landscape. It's in a more populated area, and therefore you want the sales to be, comparable to that. You'll see in the MC addendum, there was only 6 that I found in the price range that I believed were able to be compared to the subject. And I used 4 out of those 6 in order to support, my final, reconciliation.
Okay. The samples that have been presented to us is a fair example of your work product here?
Correct.
Okay. And you did 90% of the work, 95, 85, 72% what would be a fair number of your
I would
contributions?
Say, what I would do is create a draft for my supervisors I would submit to them. We would review them together, and they would, make any changes, any egregious changes that I may have messed up. But I would say a fair amount would be 85 or more.
Okay. That's all for me. Other members of the commission, one last time, any questions or concerns or statements? Hearing none, may I receive a motion to be considered? Second call for a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve Bradford Evans' work samples as submitted.
Okay, Bob has made a motion for acceptance. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Norris is quick today on that second. We have him. Great. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll take ayes,
Aye.
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 nays, abstentions. Congratulations, and I want to make one quick comment, if I may. Gentlemen, both your sponsors, job well done. We
Thank you, Gary.
appreciate from the commission here what you've done, what you've taken on, whatever part that you played in this process, it worked. So it's always we hear the negative. I'd like to say positives to both of you gentlemen
Thank you,
for
Jerry.
being a sponsor. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Evans, please, you can, after the meeting, reach out to Debbie and she'll tell you the next process, the next step and timelines and so forth. Okay?
Very good. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Take
board.
care.
Take care. Next on old business, continued discussion about real estate appraisal commission authorities. I know that John is not here, so it's probably best that when we get all together, which we are all together when? In September? Is there any, I'm going off script here a little bit. I'm not apologizing for it. I'm unapologetic. Is there anything that you foresee an emergency situation that we will need a meeting in August?
No.
Okay,
No.
simple answer. I like simple answers. That's direct and to the point. Thank you. Okay, so we meet in September and I believe in person. Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Now we're moving over to new business. We have, and I may mispronounce it, so my apologies. Beta Jarkowski, RCR applicant, experience log review. Ms. Jarkowski, are you available with us? Yes, you are. Are
Yes,
you
I
off
am.
mute? Good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you for
everyone.
Thank you for joining us. For the record, can you please give your name, spelling of your last name, and your address of employment for the record?
Beata Jaworski, Beata Jaworski, address 64 Rosewood Drive, Rocky Hill, Connecticut.
Thank you. And again, my apologies for mispronouncing your name. Okay. We have a log presented to us here that reviewed. I went through it here a little bit, but I would like to first ask Debbie and or Jeff, if you review this, are there any issues we should be aware of up front with initial glance of the log?
I just scanned the log for, added the hours, made sure that the
Mhm.
hours were correct. And that was accurate, and but nothing else stood out that I could see.
Okay, very good. For those members of the commission, are there any samples that you would like for us to request? I have a few here, but I'm going to let everyone else go first,
Oh.
and therefore you'll probably, all likelihood, cross off mine. So go ahead, whoever would like to start.
Well, I had picked some out. I also wanted to say, if I could make just a general comment about the log. Mr. Chairman, is that
Please.
appropriate? Just in the handwritten section, which was 8 pages, it was very hard to tell whether your hours were sort of justified, I guess you could say, because you didn't write down what you did specifically for each property, for each report. There's just like one long generic run of what you did in general, and it's for every report on each page, and it's the same for each of the 8 pages. So it's hard to tell, whether you did 8 hours or 5 hours or however many you've gotten down there. It's just a general comment. Now that you did sort of fix that or stop that when the pages got to be typed. So that's good anyway. But I did have some I picked out from your live.
Commissioner Moore, I need to
Yes.
interrupt a moment, please, and then you're going to have the floor. Mr. Kowski, is your sponsor here with you today?
No, she's not. I was told that she will attend with me in September in person. So for
Okay.
today's meeting, I wasn't advised to have her with me.
Will you make sure your sponsor and
Yes.
or sponsors are with you at
Of
the September meeting? Okay, thank you. Mr. Moore, I apologize. Please go ahead. The floor is yours.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So I picked out a 3-family that's on page 7212 Ardman Drive in Willimantic. And a single family, 3 Poplar Hill Drive in Farmington. A condominium report, 467 Whaley Avenue in New Haven. And then I picked an older single family also, just sort of comparison to see how your progress is. 45 Elm Street in Simsbury. That's what I got.
Okay, well, you covered what I was doing. I had a condos, I had a 3-family, I was bouncing around as well, but I'm going to add one just back for also Commissioner Moore, following we're on the same train of thought. I would like the one done November 5th of 2024 to see how your progress was of the 182 Shore Drive single family facility in Winstead. Okay, and therefore we've got 2026 data, other reports, so that is good. Are there any other reports by other members of the commission?
I was going to request 336 Heather Glen Lane in Mystic.
Okay. Great. Any others? And we're going to give you a
Mr. Chairman.
choice. Okay, yes, go ahead before I say my last
No,
thing.
I was going to say I'd be willing to, take maybe one of my single family. I requested Poplar Hill Drive in lieu of getting one report of Miss Jaworski's choice. What I know you always ask for this, what she thinks is her best work. It would be her choice.
You knew what I was going to say next. That's wonderful. That tells me I've been doing this too long, right? So, so you wanted to take one off so she doesn't have to report?
Yeah, just because we're piling up a lot
Yep.
of samples to review now. So, and I think the one Jen picked is probably a single family, so I could take that one that I suggested off the list. 3 Poplar Hill Drive in Farmington.
So we take that one off in Farmington. Okay. Again, and we give you the choice. You have a choice of whatever report you really would like for us to review. Okay, for what, and that's your reasons, you know, and we'll be, as you were here earlier, you can see that we follow up when we go through here. Okay, the minutes. So, any questions?
Yes, so I have 6 reports to present. I mean, delivered to Debbie, I understand. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I just wanted to quickly comment on the log that to make sure that everything is clear. I did started writing down all of them from the very beginning, each of them individually, but there was a lot of pages. So when I had to deliver the log, I rewrite them. I mean, not when I had to deliver, like at some point I noticed that it will be too many of them. So I do have the very first original written down one by one and signed by my sponsor if that needs to be edited or at some point brought it up, just to prove that it wasn't just one, description for all of them. I really did my job, trying best to log all of them and make sure that they were complying and proven.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions for us?
I believe I'm okay. Those choices are pretty good. I remember them very well. They all, especially the 2026, I worked so much more on every single report. I started detailing my comments and worked on the adjustments. So I'm very confident on the 2026 reports. The 2024, those were my beginner reports. So I'm sure there will be difference between those and the one that you chose from 2026. I would like to hear your comments and feedbacks. But my best ones definitely 2025 was when I really improved a lot. I took the classes and then I started working in details on those reports, and 2026 is when I think everything went in place and I started understanding more and participating more and more. Most of the reports in 2026 were like 90 to 95% of my entire work. So I'm happy and hope it will deliver.
Good, very good. We're looking forward to seeing them. I want you to have an enjoyable balance of the summer. It will go by way too quick for us in New England. And just a reminder that we are meeting in person in Hartford in September. Okay, just a reminder. And we would look forward to seeing you there as well as your sponsor at that meeting. Okay, we thank you very much. Have a good summer. Thank you.
You too. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Legal. The floor is yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I don't have any updates that I need to report. We did have our compliance, or the start of the compliance meetings for the real estate appraisal audit that's ongoing. And we've had a couple compliance meetings, and we're progressing on that matter as well. So
okay,
that's pretty much it.
Just for information purposes, when you're doing compliance meetings, are we still using video, or are people coming into Hartford, or how does that work?
Well, for the compliance meetings, we tend to do them on Teams, and they're done, visually.
That's what I meant
everybody
when I said
appears, but
video.
yeah, we do them, video
good.
conference Teams. Yep, thank you.
Very good. Thank you kindly. Any questions for Vicky, members of the commission?
I can say one thing that I would say is that it's July, and I do realize that we're off for the month of August, but if there's any, I'll say statutory, regulatory, regulations can be done all year round, but our proposals for statutory changes are generally due, I would say no later than August I'll just say 15th, just as a placeholder. So if anybody has any statutory changes or even regulatory changes that they would like us to consider, please submit them to either myself or Debbie. And we can, take a look at the suggestions. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Duly
Mhm.
noted.
Thank you.
All right, great. Staff, anything to bring us current? Deb, is there, I know your cucumbers aren't cucumbering as well as you want them, but
Telling you, it's a struggle. It's a struggle, but I'm not giving up. Okay, so we are pretty much done with the audit. And we had, as a result of the non-compliance, everybody was brought up to compliance. Except for 3 people, they decided to voluntarily surrender their license in lieu of, and that's about that for the audit. Oh, and then this morning I was just notified that one of our appraisers has passed away, Michael Allard. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Mr. Allard, but he passed away the end of April, unfortunately. So
thank you for letting us know. I was not aware of that. So, all right then. Any questions for staff by members of the commission? Hearing none, we're in good shape. All right. We're moving next to the courses. And we have before us AAL 1589, and it goes through AAL. Oh, no, that's good. Well, we go all the way to APR 422. I didn't turn the page. I looked at all these. Any questions by members of the commission and or staff on any of the submissions? I have a few notes here, but I'll let others go first. Hearing none, well, then I'll jump in here. I'm taking a look at the Appraisal Institute's ones on the back page. Was printed where it was printed on my back page. Let's just put it that way. And it begins with a AAL 1601. And it will run for 3-4 of them through 1604. So that's case studies and appraising green residential buildings, condemnation appraising principles and application, litigation appraising, and then practical applications and appraisal green commercial buildings. And I notice it says no AQB or IDEC approval, but I know that, I've taken, in fact, I think I've taken all these courses at one point in time through them. Did they just not apply, meaning they being the Appraisal Institute, to get approvals, or it's just how the paperwork is in today's world?
let me just confirm.
I know on at least 1 or 2 of them, it said that approval was not sought.
That's what I wanted to confirm. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a fair amount of them. Yeah. I noticed that
Yeah.
also.
Is
I
that
wondered why.
a new industry procedure, or you think there's a change of staff, or we just don't know?
Well, I know that there was a change in staff over there. I'm not sure. I can reach out to them and find out. Jackie, would you happen to have any insight on this?
Sorry, I do not.
I think at one time for one course we were looking at with that case also, the explanation was that it's taking so long to get approvals that they just skipped it so that they could get the course out there.
Well, I will tell you, I have taken every single one of these, okay, at some point in, for CE and so forth. So I don't have any issues with the course. I was just looking at the mechanism that it is or is not being in place within our industry. Don't think I'm trying to set anything up or what have you. So, enough said on my part here. Any other questions or issues by staff or general public or members of the commission on the classes presented here? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve as presented from AAL 1589 through APR 422? Second call.
I'll make the motion.
Jen has made a motion to approve. Jen?
Yes.
Okay, motion by Jen to approve. A second.
I'll second.
Bob is on the second. Discussion. Any other issues, questions? Hearing none, then I will call this motion to a vote. Ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Did we lose Norris? Okay, and Maria, it's good for you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then nays, abstentions, as I don't see Norris on here, will make that he's abstained. Okay, for the record. Then it passes as we have here. Okay, great. Comments or concerns for any persons present today, and I am also enveloping that in comments or concerns on any person present today where we have it in the beginning and the end. Anything to add or subtract here today?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I only thought of this now, it should have come up with staff, I guess, but I'm wondering, Deb, or if we had any candidates for the missing positions on the commission? If anything's come up with that?
I do know that a resume was submitted. I don't know where it stands, but one came in and
Okay.
was forwarded. So I have no idea what happens after
Yeah.
it makes its way through. So we just wait and hope that somebody gets chosen soon so we can have a full staff again. I mean, full commission. I did hear from Shauna, and Shauna is officially retired as of July 1st.
Yay.
So she's living her life.
Good for her.
Mhm.
Great. Okay, great. If there are any other things to come before us, and thank you, Deb, for passing that along a week or two ago, hearing none, then, well, make it a quick meeting here. It's 9:08. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Bob, a second.
Second.
Maria has got on the board here. She seconds it. Great. Ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, we're good. Folks, summer goes by so quick here. And when we will meet in person September, I hope cucumbers are cuking and carrots are carroting and peas are, well, I should say peeing, but you get the idea what we're having here. Enjoy what we have for the summer, and everyone, we'll look forward to seeing everyone in person in September. Thank you. Be well.
See you then.
Well,
Bye.
take care, everyone. Thank you.
See you in
Bye-bye now.
September.
Yep, thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a good